Welcome back. Last week we discussed two options, right? Number one is if we can manage to break above resistance, we'll have a wave 5 follow through. Otherwise, we're likely following the red path, right? So after seeing how last week played out, I mean this wave 4 is still probable. The only difference is we could still be in the wave 4, right? Versus an assumption that the wave 4 was over. And one of the things that could happen, right? If you think the wave 4 is still in progress, is this bounce gets rejected. We come down, right? We come down to demand area around here, form kind of a running flat before the market, pushes up higher. And again, that would kind of have to be, correlated. Like this would kind of just be a fake breakout, like here, right? Just a slight dip off the trend line before it goes back up. And if the market, I mean, at the most, right? The market can definitely follow the red path, right? As we've seen here, go to the chart of SPX. We know that, the channel support is all the way down, right? Here at 4160. So it's certainly possible to follow the red path. I just think if we're still in the wave 4, the most probable path would look something like this, right? Versus this red path. So let's see how that goes. And again, it would be firmly dependent on what the dollar does, right? So far, you can see that we got out of the 1.4% line and it's come back, right? It's come back down. So again, I still think it's got a little more, right? Where this entire thing was your ABC. So I mean, at minimum, the dollar would need a break about 105.8, right? To kind of finish up the minimum retracement required, and kind of why I'm leaning towards more of a bounce, right? As seasonality favors, is if I zoom out, you'll be able to see that this is the long-term channel of the dollar. So, any bounce that it has, I do expect it to get rejected and come back down. So yeah, on the 30-minute chart, we look at the dollar, right? It has support at 104.59. Kind of have to see what we do there, because if dollar doesn't hold the 104.59 support, then this entire, where this is your 1, 2, your 3, 4, 5, right? This is your 3, 4, 5, right? Your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That, basically what I'm looking for is that final bounce, right? And the dollar break the level I was talking about, where it has previous resistance, right? Let's zoom out, right? 106, whatever, had the final bounce, and then boom, dollar has a massive sell-off. Kind of bigger picture, and we look at the yields as well, right? And you can see that we did bounce off the bottom of the channel, and we discussed two paths last week, right? Let's kind of see whether, this bounce gets rejected or whether it goes on to like 5%, although will be important. And, the kind of direction SPX is going to take if we follow the red path as we go along. We'll look at all the different indicators, and if I don't see any bullish alternatives, then I will show you the more bearish paths. So for now, I think bull or bear, any bounce will probably get rejected, and we still have a little more downside left to test. So that's just my opinion, and kind of the same for NASDAQ, right? Let's go to the chart of NASDAQ. I mean, for some reason I don't have anything here, but yeah, if you wanted to wave this, right? This could be your 1, 2, your 3. This is your A, your B, your C. So finish your wave 4 before a wave 5. And again, you could wave it in a bunch of different ways, right? I am considering this entire thing, right, to be an A, B, C. So an A, a B, and a C. But yeah, if there's a bunch of different ways to do this, this could definitely be, right, a 1, 2, a 3, 4. If this is a bigger bullish count, which the market has a lot more to do before it can prove that, just like before it can prove we're in a much larger bearish count, because to prove we're in a much larger bullish count, I think whether I'm bullish or bearish, right, I do think that this ABC still has a wave 5 left, which is what I have kind of been saying, right? But if the market can prove itself, right, then I'm willing to also go for a more bullish count. But yeah, let's just see. And to just rule out the bullish count, right? I would, again, you can see here, right? I would personally like, this fib level, 14,000 to break on Nasdaqs, and then I'll show you more bearish counts. But yeah, for now, kind of still the game plan, right? Maybe come test the bottom of this channel, right? And then we push to the top of the channel. All right, with that being said, let's look at this week's watch list. Last week, we discussed KWEB bearishness, right? You can see we had a super bearish week, almost 7%. So that was a good prediction, which again would imply, right, a bearish reversal. So if XPEV, gets below 17, we can definitely see 16.516. Next support is at 15.6, right? But eventually, I think, again, in ABC, we come down at minimum to the next level of support at 14. So bearish on China stocks still. I do think if they bounce, they will get rejected and go back to the downside. Let's look at CVS, right? Kind of getting extended, right? You can see here that this massive movement for CVS has been getting over, the selling has been getting overdone. And you can see the 6 point, like if I flip the, the bottom to the top of the most recent swing, right? We saw that, sorry, trading just keeps moving my shit, and a little bit of OCD about it. But yeah, what I wanted to show you was that you can see that the 618 is at like 63.7. And if I drew a trend line, right, you'll also be able to, yeah, if I drew a trend line this way, I was just checking some fib retracements. But yeah, if I drew a trend line this way, you can see that this 63 to 64 area kind of is a bounce zone, and it does have a gap to fill. So I do think, 63 to 64, if that area holds, right, it could just bounce off the bottom of this channel, fill that gap before it goes down further. So that's what I have for CVS. Potential dip buy, candidate could be possible. The next one I have is LULU. Again, the reason for that is, we were always looking for that ABC on LULU. It does have weekly resistance here. So let's see if it follows through to the downside, right? That's the reason I have 390 as a trigger. If it can break back below the previous breakout, right? 392-ish was where it broke out. So if it can break back below 390, then it should easily be able to come down to 370. 360, right? It longer term picture, it does have support here, right? When it comes back down to 356, so probably a short to 356. Yeah, is LULU. And last but not the least, let's look at the last one on this week's watch list. And what I have is actually OXY, and again, that is just right. If I zoom out, you'll be able to see the bigger picture resistance. Oh, trading view needs to stop moving my freaking channels. But yeah, bigger picture, what I wanted to show you is you can see that this trend line, right, is the weekly level of resistance that it's been getting rejected. And this, horizontal line is, daily resistance. So if it can break over 66, then I think 69 and 72 should be possible, right? At least to the top of this channel. And what we do at this level, right, would kind of, you will reject at first, right? Whether it rejects and breaks out or whether it has a bigger sell-off, to be seen. So yeah, that's all I have for this week's watch list. Have a great day.